Chosen Vessels, what's the deal? It's your main man, druuill, and I'm back at you with another video. Let's get right into it, okay? If you're all you've got, why not give it all you've got so you can reap what you sow and bear great fruit, okay? Let's get into it, all right? Why not give it all you got? When you're going after things in life, you got to give it all you got. You don't have any time to be playing around. You don't have any time to waste. If you're all you've got, if you don't have anybody in your corner, if you don't have anybody there for you, all right, if it's slim pickings and it's just you and you have to rely on yourself, you may have a little help from people, but it's still not enough. It's about to run out soon, and you got to make sure that you have enough for you. You got to make sure you have something for you. You got to make sure you could take care of you. Give it all you got. All right. Don't waste time. Don't worry about the outcome. Give it all you got. Start going hard. Start doing more. All right. Start dedicating more time to your grind. All right. Start dedicating more time to your grind so that way you can find time to do more, have more, and be more. If you have things that you're working on, if you have things that you're doing, you have to start putting in more time and more energy and more effort so that way it could become something. That way you could get it up off the ground. That way it could be great. You can't just do it occasionally. You can't just be lackadaisical about it. This has to be something that you do 24/7 every single day, maybe 4 or 5 times a day. All right, you got to go hard with this. This is something that you can't give up on. This is something that you have to go hard on. This is something that you got to eat it, sleep it, breathe it. All right, this is something that you have to own. All right, you have to attack this. Otherwise, if you don't attack it, it's just going to sit on the shelf. It's not going to get done. You're going to procrastinate. All right, your days are going to go by and you're not going to have touched it, and you don't want that. All right, you want to be able to bear great fruit. All right, you want to be able to reap what you sow. All right, you want to be able to bear great fruit. All right, let's go to the Bible. Okay, John. All right, we're going to go to the John chapter 15, verse 4 and 5. All right, remain in me and I will remain in you. All right. If you remain in me, what does that mean? How do you remain in me? God is telling you to remain in me. How do you remain in him so that he can remain in you? Yeah, let's get into it. How can you remain in him so that he can remain in you? All right. John 15, chapter 4. John chapter 15, verse 4. God says, remain in me. All right. Remain in me and I will remain in you. Let's break that down. How can you remain in God so that he can remain in you? You have to remain in his word. You have to remain with the idea that you have God in you. You have to remain in the idea that God is in you, okay? And that way he can remain in you. When you remain in the idea that you have God in you, when you remain in the idea that good things are supposed to happen to you, when you remain in the idea that God is always there for you, that God moves through you, as you, beside you, okay? When you remain in the idea that you don't have to worry, when you remain in the idea that God will provide, when you remain in the idea that you can do all things through Christ that strengthens you, okay? When you remain in the idea to pick up your bed and walk, when you remain in the idea that you are a chosen vessel and that you walk with the power of God, you talk with the power of God, you handle all your affairs with the power of God. All right, that is remaining in God so that he can remain in you. That's the only way God can remain in you, by keeping his word fresh in your mind, by repeating affirmations daily. All right, by speaking God's words daily, by making affirmations out of the word. All right, by keeping the word in your mouth day and night. Okay, by drawing nigh to God so that he can draw nigh to you. You go close to God, he'll go close to you. All right, if you go close to God and he'll go close to you, there's no way that he can't remain in you because you're remaining in him. Okay, we are in John chapter 15, verse 4. All right, if we are discussing if you're all you've got, give it all you got, so that way you can reap what you sow, and that way you could bear great fruit. All right, no branch can bear fruit by itself. All right, no branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. God is telling you, unless that you're aware of the idea that you have God in you, unless you live in that and walk in that and talk in that and act in that, okay, you're not going to be able to bear fruit. All right, unless you know that with all things, Christ said anything is possible through Him. All right, with all things you could do through Christ that strengthens you. You can do anything that through Christ that strengthens you. Okay, that is remaining in God, knowing that God is almighty powerful, and that almighty power runs through you. That almighty power is in you. Okay, it says that you must remain on the vine, and remaining on the vine, that's remaining with the idea that God is omnipresent. That's remaining in the idea that God can do anything through you, in you, and as you. That's remaining in the idea that you could make miracles happen. That's remaining in the idea that you could achieve the impossible. That's remaining in the idea that you could have that business. You could start that business. You could have more money. You can work for yourself. You could become financially free. All right. That's remaining in me, that you can have it. You can do it. All right. When you remain in me, I will remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. Try doing something by yourself. Try becoming successful without the idea that God lives in you. Try having long lasting prosperity. All right, we're not talking about quick overnight success. We're talking about long term. We're talking about long term financial success, long term prosperity, long term success. Okay, that's how you remain on the vine, by remaining in the word, by remaining in the idea, by remaining in the spirit, all right, by remaining with God and knowing that He is with you, He is in you, all right, remaining with the idea that you have God's mind and your thoughts are God's thoughts, okay, that your mind is God's mind, all right. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. So you have to remain in God in order to bear fruit. All right. I am the vine. Okay. God is the vine. All right. God is the juice. God is the flow. God is the sauce. Okay, that makes it all happen. All right, God is the energy. All right, God, His Spirit is in you. All right, that's what makes us the salt of the earth. It's the Spirit of God that's in us, making us have all this flavor. All right, making us be able to drip, spill, and splash. All right, and splick a dash and be fantastic and be splendiferous and be positive and be amazing and be wonderful and be able to achieve the impossible and to be great. All right, you hear what I'm saying? God is the vine. All right, we're on John 15, chapter 5. I am the vine. You are the branches. Okay? You are the branches. If a man remains in me and I in him, he will bear much fruit. Okay? When you are present of the awareness of God in you, you will bear great fruit. All right, uh when you are aware of the presence of God in you, it's going to be impossible for you to not bear great fruit. When you are aware of the presence of God in you, it's going to be impossible for you to not succeed. It's going to be impossible for you to get ahead in life. You can't not get ahead in life when you have the idea, when you have the awareness of God in you. All right. You can't not become successful with that. All right. You can't not bear great fruit. And you want to bear great fruit, you're going to reap what you sow. So all you have to do is remain in me, and God says He will remain in you. And how do you remain in God? By keeping a positive attitude. All right. By keeping the right belief about yourself. All right. By believing in God and believing in you. All right. By knowing that you have God in you. By knowing that anything is possible through you could achieve anything through Christ. All things are possible. You could achieve anything through Christ that strengthens you. Okay. That's remaining in God so that He can remain in you. When you remain in the Spirit, all right, when you remain in the spirit of I can, when you remain in the spirit of it's possible, when you remain in the spirit of it can happen, it will happen, it has already happened, all right, when you remain in the spirit of when two or three or one or more comes together in my name and drops a prayer, all right, you can that is remaining in God, all right. When you are aware that you are the one that you have to agree with, that is remaining with God, all right. When you are aware that you have to agree with your imagination, your feelings and your imagination have to get along with each other. They have to agree with each other, those are the one or more who has to agree. It's within you. It's your imaginations, it's your feelings, it's your idea about yourself, it's your idea about your success. Okay, and when you agree, that's remaining in God so that He can remain in you. That's having good things remain in you so that God can remain in you. When you dwell on good things, when you dwell on positive things for yourself, when you tell yourself that you're rich, when you tell yourself that you're happy, when you tell yourself that you're healed, that's God remaining in you so that you can remain in Him. All right, that's you remaining in God so that He can remain in you, so that way you can bear great fruit. So that way you can bear fruit of good health. All right, when if you want to bear fruit of good health, have God remain in you. I mean, you remain in God so that He can remain in you. All right. If you want to be prosperous, have God remain in you. All right. If you want to be successful, have God remain in you. And in order to have God remain in you, you have to remain in Him. And how you remain in Him is constantly keeping His word in your mouth, constantly having something positive to say about God, constantly having something to believe that's godly, that's good, that's of good fortune about yourself, constantly believing that you deserve the best, constantly believing that God is working everything out for you, constantly believing that if you're sick, you can get well, constantly believing that if you're poor, you can get rich, constantly believing that if things aren't going right, you could think them right. Okay? Everything happens through the mind. All right, so remaining in God so He can remain in you, that's keeping God fresh in your mind. That's keeping God's thoughts in your mind. All right, there we go. Remaining in God so that He can remain in you, keep His thoughts in your mind. God can't not be in you if you have His thoughts in your mind. And you want to know what God's thoughts are? I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am successful. Those are God's thoughts. All right, I can have whatever I want. I can be as healthy as I want. I can be as rich as I want. I can be as successful as I want. I could have. I could be the healthiest person that I know if I want. I could reverse this disease. I can heal myself. All right, that's remaining in God so that He can remain in you. When you know that God is in you and the power of God in you can heal you and make you better and make you strong, that's remaining in God so that He can remain in you all day long. All right. Don't be afraid to remain in God so that He can remain in you. Don't be afraid to bear great fruit. You're great, and you should be bearing great fruit. But in order to bear great fruit, so that you can reap what you sow, God has to remain in you. All right. And since you're all you've got, why don't you give it all you've got? And it's never a greater time to give it all you got when you're aware of the idea and the power and the presence of God in you. All right. When you are aware that you have a power, when you are aware that you have a presence, when you are aware that you can become successful, okay? When you are aware that you can make whatever you want to happen, all right? That's believing in the power of Jesus Christ, all right? If you're all you've got, all right, give it all you got. Use that Jesus power to give it all you got. All right? Use that God power to give it all you got. So that way you can bear great fruit. All right? So that way when people see you, when you look at yourself, people will be like, that's a child of God. When you look in the mirror every day, you'll be like, whoo, look at God. When people see you, they'll be like, whoo, wow, look at God, yo. Look at God. I see God flowing all through you, man. I see God flowing all through you, young lady. I see God flowing all through you, miss. I see God flowing all through you. What a wonderful woman. I see God flowing all through you. What a masterful man you are. Okay? Look at you. Shining. All right? So give it all you got. You only got one life. Okay? Give it all you got. You're all you got. Use that Jesus in you. All right. Use that strength in you. God says that you are strong. All right. You are strong. What does the Bible say? Let the weak say, I am strong. All right. And if you're strong, you should be giving it all you got. All right. If you're all you got to assess that thing. I'm all I've got. I may not be getting as much help as I thought I was. My help may be running out. But you know what? Guess what I do have? Guess what's not running out? The power of God. Guess what's not going to leave me high and dry? The power of God. All right. And if I have this God power, if I could create a miracle in my life, if I could make something happen in my life, I need to be using this thing. I need to take this God power and I need to give it all I've got, because I'm all I've got. Okay. And I want to, and if I want to have some good fruit and bear some good fruit, if I want to reap what I sow, if I want the fruit to be great, all right, if I want to bear great fruit, I gotta give it all I've got. And by giving it all I've got, that's staying close to God. Okay, you can't give it all you got without remaining in God and God remaining in you. You can't give it all you've got. All right. If you want to give it all you've got, God is going to have to remain in you, and you are going to have to remain in Him. All right. So make sure that you give it all you got, and make sure when you give it all you got, make sure you remain in God so that He can remain in you. So that way you can give as much as you've got. All right. That way you want to go Super Saiyan, you want to go Goku, remain in God so that He can remain in you. So that way when you give it all you got, you'll have that extra push, that extra shove, that extra tiger in your tank. Okay, that extra and what do they call it? What they call it, NO2, or the nitrous gas. Yeah, for all the people who play the racing games. I know I got some people who play some racing games that watch this. All right, you think that stuff is something? Yo, remain in God and let Him remain in you. All right, and you'll be moving just as quick. You'll be moving just as fast. All right, you'll be hopping on things and getting things done and knocking things out and getting everything you need accomplished like it's nothing. You'll be giving it all you got, because you realize that you're all you got. But the God in you is all you've got, and that's a great thing to have. So keep that in mind. All right, keep that awareness. All right, when you keep that awareness that you have the power of God to work with, all right, that's remaining in God so that He can remain in you. All right, and that way, when you're all you've got and you go to give it all you've got, you'll be able to reap what you sow, and what you sow will be some great fruit. So I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. Okay, thank you for checking the channel out. Welcome all the new subscribers. All right, everybody drop a comment, show your boy some love. All right, everybody hit that like button so we can reach a wider audience. All right, thank you kindly, and I appreciate everybody watching the ads, because I see the numbers going up. God bless you. All right, and if you'd like to be a blessing to the channel, please do so. The Cash App and the PayPal are in the video description and in the channel description. So thank you, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. This has been another DruuTube special. Shout out to the chosen vessels. We out.